Hi, it's Wendy, and welcome to my studio. I am going to be painting the back wall and some on this wall, but I'm going to switch these paintings around and also working on the table. Um, and I had a question the other day. One of my viewers, thank you um, for commenting, asking me if I used brushes because I seem to always use my favorite tool, the squeegee. And of course, the answer is you just need to watch more of the videos because I do use brushes. I use my hands. I don't think I've done any videos yet of using, like sticks and chopsticks and forks. And I mean, anything, you can use anything really to make a mark. And I just crinkled this up, but tinfoil as well I have used to paint. Actually, I might use that today. So yes, but I go through phases where I just have a lot of fun with a certain shape or a certain mark that can be made with a certain tool, and I do tend to, favor that for a period of time. So I'm going to use my favorite tool now, my squeegee, because I haven't made nearly enough marks or nearly enough maps. So let me do that now. I'm going to get a nice bit of red going. This is going to be interesting because it's so vibrant, of course, that it tends to really take over, dominate a surface. Just feeling like starting that off and seeing where it takes me. Okay, that was way too timid. I'm going to put it front row center. I added a little bit of fluorescent. And of course, I have a lot of green on these, and red and green are complementary colors. And also Christmas, they have been co-opted to a season for some. Plenty of possibilities. And I'll continue for a little bit longer. Oh, wow. See how hot? Yes, well, I do have something to work against now. Not that I didn't before. Let me see. I have so much paint on, well, I have more paint on here. I don't need it so much for the smaller panels. So what would happen if I put a little bit of the party over here? Too many horizontals. I'll turn this into an X. All right, well, I have to keep going now. Started something. Take a little of that excess paint. Yeah, more of a line going down, I think. So do you see how I strengthened that line? A little bit like a cross, but if I keep going, it'll lose some of that horizontal and become more of a vertical. It's not balancing, but that's where I'll go next. And I think I want something up here. And I'll just finish with a little bit of the pop down here as well. Okay, and then moving over, these paintings that I keep talking about being finished. And then I keep working into them. So let me just keep working into them. I think what I'm going to do on these is just establish a little bit of color here, just a bit. So I'm adding some water to my squeegee, because then I can just pull, it's just a blush of pink that does not really interfere with the rest of the paint. It's just too transparent. In fact, I like that so much, I'm going to do it over here too. And I've got almost no paint on the squeegee now, but it's just enough to give it a few ripples, create a bit of shadow there. And shall I keep going? But I'll have to wait for the paint to dry to see how that works. Okay, so now let's see what I have on the other side here. Kind of started to work on these a little differently. Yeah, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to leave this side the family of paintings that it is. It seems I worked on this side simultaneously, and they go together, and I like that. I'm going to just explore that as opposed to other times when I just work randomly. I turn the boards over, without really a system, and it's different, and I'm just curious. I'm just curious about finishing these as a family. I mean, I can change my mind at any time, of course. So now I am going to go and do some of the stencil work. And in order to show you what I'm doing, I'm going to move my cameras over here. And get this up a little bit higher. I have no idea what you're able to see there. Hopefully the table. And if you can't see the table, I won't use that in my video. I tell you, editing videos is another art form. All right, and I got my squeegee, and I have my tin foil. And I have my stencils. I have new stencils. I'm going to squeeze past. I wonder if you can even see me there. Let me bring it down. All right, it's going to be something we won't know until later. Now, I rescued my tinfoil. This was starting to get holes in the tinfoil here. You can see the light through, but it's still working. So let's take some of these stencils, contemporary stencils, and I have my squeegee. Put some interesting colors on there. I still have the red, but there's not enough that it's going to make a difference. So instead of getting a different squeegee, I'll just use this one. If it doesn't work, then I will have to get another squeegee. And I failed to get my little push pin here for these blocks that happen. I'm trying not to knock this camera down. I don't think it's a condition of the paint, or actually, I'm sorry, a condition of the little opening. I think the paint is just very, very thick. I'm looking over at that pale pink color that I put on from the brush, from the squeegee just a minute ago, and yeah, I like it. I can hardly see it in one area, but in another area I can see it very well, and that's working particularly nicely. This has been an interesting journey for me to notice to actually, talk out loud my thought processes. They were always there, but more or less silent. Sometimes I listen to music. Sometimes I'm just in the zone. We've talked about that. That's the place where you're so focused on what it is you're doing that, you kind of forget about time and other things. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity to really bring your attention into the present, and then and work on your art. It is amazing. Now, when I use the stencils for the squeegees, this is just the outline of a face. It's kind of a young woman's face with spiky hair. I really like it. It's very reminiscent to me of a goddess image that I have somewhere. And so they're amazingly similar. Something here. Don't even know what that is. Oh, it's Diana. And yes, these get really lumpy and bumpy, which I also love. I have to put them somewhere they're not gonna, if I put them on paper, didn't really plan this in advance. If I put them on paper, then they just stick to the paper. That's it. Oh, this is one of my favorite goddesses, the goddess of the city. She's got a city wall on her head. I don't know if you can see that, but I think it's a fashion statement that should come back into our culture. The nice thing about stencils is that you can turn them over and they have they face a different direction, they have a different shape. Let me get some of my Botticellis. Botticelli made some beautiful shapes for his Venuses. Very, very contemporary still. I mean, those positions, those stances are still to this day being emulated by by models and photographers and various other art and cultural producers. And of course, Venus de Milo. Where shall I put my Venus? Oh, first, it's like so much to do, so little space to do it. I want to. So I put this figure. This is a contemporary figure, and I did the interior with the squeegee, and now I'm going to do the exterior, meaning the outside of the lines. I have to do it kind of gingerly because there is a lot of negative space around it. Yeah, that's okay. These are just the first passes. My little Venus goddess here. Well, I'm running out of paint now. Now what I'm going to do is move to the tin foil. There's almost nothing you can do wrong on tin foil. It just comes out pretty well. So a little bit of that, and a little bit of this. I haven't used tinfoil on these before, so I am experimenting in real time. Let me just mop some of that up. Oh, that little hole is coming back to haunt me. Just move it around a bit. I kind of mixed the paint, which is fine, but I'm going to put a couple of little dots in there as well. Okay, now I think some of these smaller pieces I will work with, and the silhouettes. It's Diana again. Ooh. Perhaps a bit too much paint. Oh, there's never too much paint. And my Venus. I'll need to work on the techniques here. I am really liking the texture though. And it gets lumpy and bumpy and not very refined. And I certainly like that too. I should probably have a spoon to transfer the paint. That silhouette is nice. Where else can I interject my Venus? How about here? Now this one, I have paint on her already, so I'm just going to see if I can use it like a stamp. Yes. All right, well, I mean, it's a mess. I love it. I'm getting a lot of ideas from it. I'm never one to waste paint. I have quite a bit of paint here. I'm going to go back to the far wall and add a little bit of texture. Now, these are nice. It's almost like a paw print or a hand print. Probably good not to overdo it, but okay, well, I think I got most of the paint off of there now, and I think I can, I mean, even the tinfoil looks fabulous. I don't know if you can see that. It's got all kinds of colors and tones and just variations. I'd like to, it looks like a wall ready for some graffiti or something. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to end with my stencils, and I really have to wait for the paint to dry. And I have to decide about a few things. You know, the stencils are seeming a little bit small. I can either save them for smaller panels or work it out, figure something out. So I will work on that, and I will see you on the next tape. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to go and make art.